A lot of people in South Africa don't understand why the DA's stance on the Gaza and Israel conflict is very important to us. And to a certain extent, it does affect our daily lives. How they view this heartbreaking situation in Gaza tells us exactly what they think about us and what they've always thought about apartheid.
Do you believe a genocide is taking place in Gaza?
Well, genocide is a very big word. I haven't been to Gaza and I don't know. But I certainly do know that Hamas has spent all its energy trying to obliterate the state of Israel. And the most critical point is that they must both recognize that each has the right to have a state and to live in peace side by side. And once that happens, we can solve this problem. Both have a right to exist side by side in peace. And the minute that recognition happens, that war and conflict will be over.
I'll ask you this question again, but differently this time. This week, a UN Commission of Inquiry has found that indeed a genocide has been committed in Gaza. So I ask you again, does the Democratic Alliance believe that a genocide has taken place in Gaza?
The Democratic Alliance has not discussed that particular issue. What we do discuss is the issue of what we propose to solve the problem. And what we propose to solve the problem is a two-state solution. And we're very pleased that a lot of the rest of the world is converging behind that idea. And that is premised upon both sides recognizing that the other has the right to have an independent and free state that can live in peace, recognizing the right of the other to exist. Many people think this is the most complex problem in the world. It isn't actually. If that condition is met, there will be peace.
Yep. She's definitely pro-Israel, which should tell you what she has been thinking about apartheid, what she thought about apartheid all along. The fact that she wants to be mayor of Johannesburg, a multicultural melting pot city with different ethnic backgrounds, is appalling, to say the least. Johannesburg is not just South Africa's economic hub. It's also home to large Muslims, Jewish, Christian, and Pan-African communities. Global conflicts like Gaza and Israel don't feel far away here. They touch families, religious communities, and activist groups directly. For a mayoral candidate to ignore or downplay these issues makes her look out of touch with her own constituents. The ANC government has taken a firm, high-profile pro-Palestine stance, even going as far as to open a genocide case against Israel at the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. That alone sets the tone nationally, and the DA knows that. Any other political party, especially one seeking power in a major metro, will be judged against this backdrop. The DA appears neutral or pro-Israel, and we all know it. And they risk alienating large sections of Black South Africans and Muslim communities who see Palestine as a liberation struggle parallel to apartheid. The DA already struggles with perceptions that it does not fully represent Black South Africans. It's cautious, often centrist international positions feed into that suspicion already. Zille avoids taking a strong pro-Palestine stance. She is indifferent to struggles that resonate deeply with Black and Muslim voters. Do you trust this human to lead the city of Johannesburg into greener pastures? The fight against apartheid was supported globally by solidarity movements. Many of us see Palestine through the same lens as another anti-apartheid struggle. A mayoral candidate who dodges or softens their positions on international problems, yeah, she is inconsistent with the liberation values that South Africans hold close. And Zille has built much of her career on her anti-apartheid credentials, but her weak stances here undercuts that legacy. Now, speaking of her anti-apartheid credentials, I hate the fact that she goes around claiming she fought the apartheid regime. I'm tired of this ever propagated lie. I've done more for the struggle than most black people in this country. It's a lie, guys. Hellen Zille wrote one article about Steve Biko. That's all she did for the struggle, nothing else. She voted in whites-only elections. She didn't join a liberation movement. She didn't participate in any freedom struggle activities like millions of others or even white activists. Hellen Zille is lying, and fools are accepting her lies without questions. Her lies are insulting to the struggle.
Reneilwe, when were you elected as the spokesperson of all black people? You weren't. How can you speak for black people? I can't speak for white people.
Helen, you are not on Twitter every day. You see what people say about you, babe. You see it. People do not trust you to have the interests of black people at heart. Please don't come here and want to
you don't speak for black people. I don't speak for white people. I judge you as an individual, and I want people to judge me as an individual.
Okay.
I bet I did more to fight apartheid than everybody sitting in the studio today.
And so did the people that are now currently running it into the ground as well. So,
well, some of them. Some of them.
Thank you for your time. We are so late for news. We apologize.
I am so sorry. I would love to answer some serious questions from your listeners instead of arguing with you.
Next time when you are on time, you can answer some serious questions.
She's such a liar because she published a false article in 1976 about Credo Mutwa, an anti-apartheid activist, and she ruined his reputation in the black community. In an interview with a foreign journalist, Credo Mutwa, an anti-apartheid activist and spiritual leader, claimed that Hellen Zille, who was a journalist back during the apartheid era, misquoted him in an apartheid-era Rand Daily Mail article on the Zille Commission of Inquiry into the 1976 Soweto uprising and other unrest during that period. According to Mutwa, he was called to testify in his capacity as a municipal supervisor in one of the areas involved in the uprising, as a government installation in the area had been demolished in the unrest. Mutwa explained that because anyone who was assumed to be working with the apartheid government by cooperating with the inquiry faced a possible threat of violence within the black community. The inquiry's presiding Judge Zille declared that at the time the proceedings would take place in camera and the names of the witnesses would not be published. But Mutwa said that he noticed reporters at the inquiry proceedings, and amongst those reporters was Hellen Zille. And Helen misquoted him, wrote lies in her publications, and alluded to the fact that Credo Mutwa was an apartheid spy and is working with the police, and he is snitching on who started the 1976 Soweto uprising protests. These Hellen Zille lies in her publication led to people in the community attacking Credo Mutwa's home, beating up his children, and sexually assaulting his wife. He was stoned, stabbed, and nearly burned to death. Remember, in the apartheid era, anyone in the black community who was suspected to be a spy or working with apartheid government would be stoned, or they would put a tire around your neck, douse you with petrol, and burn you to death. And Zille knew that. She knew what she was doing when she wrote that article, that false article about Credo Mutwa. She knew exactly what would happen to him. Of course, she denied these allegations and called Credo a liar.
And amongst the reporters was a white woman, Hellen Zille. Now, I spoke to the judge, answering his questions. And then I said to the judge, protection for workers in Soweto is completely inadequate. Innocent workers are being beaten up and sometimes killed by the rioting youths. Can't more protection be supplied to those of our people who are willing to work? And this white woman went on to write in the Rand Daily Mail newspaper that I had said that the army should be called into Soweto to quell the unrest. Now, here was a white woman defying the orders of a judge, breaking the law with impunity almost. Of all the people who testified in that place, some of whom said worse things than I said, only my name was betrayed. And after that, my home was attacked by 500 or more school children. It happened in September 1976. My wife was raped. My children were beaten and injured. How they managed to escape, I don't know.
This woman tarnished reputations of our struggle heroes. What apartheid did she fight against? A lot of black people have voted for the DA because they believe efficiency is equated to whiteness. But most importantly, the black people that vote for the DA are uneducated about the painful history, their painful history. They have Stockholm syndrome. She is pro-Palestine. What apartheid did she fight for? The DA cannot afford to act like global issues don't affect local politics, because in Johannesburg, honey, they do. The bottom line is the DA's stance on Gaza and Israel is a litmus test for whether Helen Zille can connect with Johannesburg's diverse and politically conscious communities. She got it wrong anyway. She's alienating voters. She proved her critics right in this interview, that the DA is out of touch with the lived realities and solidarity politics of South Africans. She proved us right by not taking a stance with Gaza the way the nation has taken a stance with Gaza, so much so that we took Israel to the International Court of Justice. Should tell you what she thought about apartheid, should tell you what she thinks about black people. She published lies about Credo Mutwa, accused him of being an apartheid spy, published his name after the inquiry Judge Zille said that non-witnesses' names would be published, because the judge was protecting the reputation and the lives of those black witnesses. Because we know in Soweto, we know in black communities, if you were suspected to be working with the apartheid government, they will come hard on you. So the judge was like, you know what, as a counselor in your community, we just want you to inquire. We just want to inquire from you. We want to hear from you what happened during those protests, because government facilities and government infrastructure has been demolished during the unrest. So according to you, as a leader of your community, what happened? And the judge was like, you know what? And since you are here to inquire and give us information, to our investigation, we won't release your names, because we know releasing your names puts your lives in danger, in the black communities. The judge protected Credo Mutwa and other witnesses' names. So who did Helen Zille think she was, publishing those names, going against a judge, going against the judiciary? Who did she think she was? She published that article. She literally leaked Credo Mutwa's name to put him in danger, to put him in harm's way, because she knew what was going to happen when Credo gets home. She knew what the black community was going to do to anyone that was suspected to be working with the apartheid regime or being cooperating with the apartheid inquiries. It's not like Credo was working with the apartheid government. No, he was asked to come and testify. What do you know as a leader of your community? Because some government infrastructures are ruined. We want to hear from you as the leader. What do you think of this? What happened? Tell us. Recall that day. And we won't drop your names. We won't publish your names. But Helen Zille, thinking that she's holier than thou, she's bigger than the judiciary. Can you see the sheer arrogance? The sheer arrogance in how she conducts herself in interviews and answering questions. The sheer arrogance. She's used to going above the judiciary. She's used to going above. She's used to, belittling and undermining leadership. She undermined the 1976 judiciary. So what more is Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC and black people of Johannesburg? So she knew what she was doing when she published Credo's name in that apartheid newspaper. Is it called the Rand Mail? Yeah, the Rand Mail publication. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she knew what it meant for Credo and his family. She knew what the black community was going to do to Credo. She knew. She knew. So she published the name anyway, going against the judiciary, going against the judge. A judge says, I won't release your names, but Helen Zille thought, nah, I'm bigger than this. I'll release the names and nothing will happen to me because I'm white. It's not like they're going to arrest me. The apartheid government works for me. The law works for me as a white person. So I'm just going to do it. And they sexually assaulted Credo's wife, attacked his children, nearly beat his children to death. They stoned him. They stabbed him. They put a tie around his neck, doused him with petrol. I don't know who saved him, but they were about to lit him on fire. I don't know who saved him, but thank God he was saved to tell the story about who Hellen Zille truly is. Thank God he lived to see this day to tell us exactly what kind of person we are dealing with. And this is the kind of person that you want as your mayor, Johannesburg. Johannesburg is different from Cape Town. Cape Town is segregated. Only white people or a high percentage of white people live within the city. The rich, well-oiled machine city, well-run city that has all the government services in abundance. And then the rest of the people, the black and colored people, they're in the outskirts. They're pushed out of Cape Town into the slums where there's no government services. They're just living in filth 30 years after democracy. Can you see the segregation in Cape Town? The whites in the suburbs, the rurals, the black and colored in the slums, in the projects, in the shanty towns. Johannesburg is built different. Everybody's in the city. Poor, rich, black, white, pink, orange, Indian, Chinese. They're all in the city. Everybody has a job. Everybody to a certain extent can afford property in the city. How is she going to work around that if she thinks so little of black people? Isn't she gonna do what's good? She's going to act right on brand. She's going to act right on brand. The way she did that, she made sure that Cape Town was segregated. She's going to segregate Johannesburg. She's going to make sure that all her European friends are going to invest in property in Johannesburg. All her European foreign markets are going to infiltrate Johannesburg. Cause inflation. Make sure that the property prices go up. Meaning if property prices go up, so is the cost of living. Everything becomes expensive in the city of Johannesburg. And then what's going to happen to someone that looks like me? Pushed back into the slums, into Tembisa, Soweto, the townships surrounding Johannesburg. And Johannesburg will only be for Europeans and the whites that can afford, and a few selective blacks that like to lick white. Wow. She's going to act right on brand. That's her modus operandi. She's going to do that. And you're willing to listen to her. You're willing to vote for her, knowing where you come from, knowing the kind of person she was during the apartheid era. She has put your fellow South African freedom fighter under the bus. Literally. Tarnished his name. Tarnished a lot of the struggle heroes' names in her publications because she could do it. And they're not going to arrest her. She's white. Knowing that this is the kind of person that treats black people like this. This is how she deals with black people. And you want to put her mayor in the most diverse, the melting pot of culture, Johannesburg, the economic hub of Africa, where everybody is entitled to that wealth, where everybody is working tirelessly to make that city rich. And she's going to undo all the work. Are you willing? Are you willing? Are you really? And I'm asking you, Johannesburg, are you really, 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 really going to put her as mayor? I hear a lot. I'm asking this because I see a lot of talks on X. I see a lot of people talking on X that they are considering it. They're considering it because they see how Cape Town is well ran. And I'm like, stop it. You know that foreign money is the one that is running Cape Town. DA barely does anything. All DA does is provide water and electricity, which they barely do. Cape Town is ran by foreign markets. Cape Town is ran by European investors. DA does not do anything. That city reeks of the America's money, the European money, the global North's money. DA doesn't do anything. And obviously, these Europeans and these global North investors, the foreign markets, they will invest heavily in Cape Town because that's a white-led municipality. That's a white-led province. They're not going to invest in the ANC's province, a black government's province. Why? What will they get in return? So with DA expanding their wings to Johannesburg, that is when you're going to see flames. Don't say I didn't warn you. You know me, I will always warn you. So, and the fact that they are now running for, governance in Johannesburg, it shows you how the DA, we've been gaslit into believing that the DA is the God Almighty. They literally run one province and we're already given them the whole country. They are trying to prove themselves that, hey, we can nationalize. And if they capture Johannesburg, the other municipalities will be easy to capture. And then the whole country will be in DA's hands. But anyway, what do you think about this segment? Comment to us in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share the broadcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss these groundbreaking conversations right here on the African Diaspora News channel. And oh, family, you know me. I have my own YouTube channel. It's called The Native Talk. The link is in the description box below. So go to the description box below, click on the link, go to the Native Talk YouTube page, subscribe, and let us have a productive talk about everything African politics, culture, and your favorite travel destination. And hey, maybe me and you might travel together. Until then, have a fantastic evening.